The consequences are moving from the Situation Rooms in Washington directly to your wallet. The Strait of Hormuz handles at least 1/5 of the world's seaborne oil. When shipping lanes are threatened and the military response is fractured, insurance rates for cargo ships climb instantly. Financial analysts have warned that a prolonged disruption could pressure global supply chains and push fuel prices to levels that threaten the stability of the global economy. Reports suggest that if a resolution is not reached, the world could face a severe oil shortage as early as mid-July. For the average consumer, this means higher costs for transportation, food, and manufacturing. This is not just a military story. It is a story of collapsing trust. Donald Trump reportedly made the decision to launch Project Freedom without consulting the allies who own the territory and manage the ports in the region. This unilateral approach has created a rift that is now visible across the globe. From the Mediterranean to the Persian Gulf, key partners are choosing to prioritize their own economic survival over American military objectives. The question is no longer whether the United States can project power, but whether any ally is still willing to provide the ground and the sky to facilitate it. The friction within the Western alliance has reached a boiling point. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has publicly challenged the readiness of traditional partners. During a press briefing, Pete Hegseth questioned why the Royal Navy was not prepared to take a leading role in securing the critical waterways of the Middle East. He stated that other countries ought to be prepared to step up rather than relying solely on the United States Navy. This rhetoric has not been received well in European capitals. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte pointed out that the United States was unable to consult with its allies because the administration wanted to keep the campaign secret. This secrecy has led to a domino effect of restrictions. Spain has reportedly blocked the United States from using its airspace and airports for operations linked to the Iran conflict. Italy has followed a similar path, with reports indicating they denied permission for American military aircraft to land at the Sigonella Air Base in Sicily. France has reportedly refused overflight for planes carrying military supplies. Even the United Kingdom, which has historically been the closest military partner to Washington, is showing signs of caution. Prime Minister Keir Starmer faces a difficult calculation as the British economy struggles with high living costs and weak growth. The escalation is not limited to Europe. In the Middle East, the rejection was even more direct. Reports suggest that Kuwait and Qatar have also expressed significant reservations or outright restricted the use of their facilities for offensive actions. The White House maintains that regional allies were notified in advance, but diplomats in the region tell a different story. This contradiction suggests a breakdown in the chain of command between political announcements and military reality. The long-term implications of this rupture are profound. When Donald Trump announced Project Freedom on social media, he framed it as a humanitarian effort to rescue ships trapped in the Persian Gulf. However, military leaders like General Dan Kane and Pete Hegseth have had to manage the fallout of an operation that many allies viewed as dangerously escalatory. The lack of consultation has shattered the perception of a unified security umbrella. Countries like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates reportedly feel that their territory is being used as a launchpad for a conflict they did not help plan. The financial stakes cannot be overstated. If the United States cannot secure the cooperation of its partners, its ability to maintain a naval blockade or escort tankers through the Strait of Hormuz is effectively neutralized. The military refers to this as access, basing, and overflight. Without these three pillars, the United States is geographically isolated. For investors and markets, this uncertainty is toxic. Every time a new ally restricts access, the risk premium on oil increases. This volatility directly impacts global inflation and the cost of credit. Furthermore, this crisis has empowered adversaries. While the West is divided, Iran has been building stronger ties with China. Reports indicate that the Iranian foreign minister traveled to Beijing to emphasize that Iran has proven its capabilities and power in the face of American objectives. If the United States is seen as a partner that acts without consulting its allies, the prospects of maintaining a global coalition to contain Iran will diminish. The world is witnessing a shift toward a system where regional powers choose neutrality or alternative alliances to protect their own economic interests. To understand why this plan collapsed so quickly, we must look at the specific motivations of the leaders who stood in the way. It began with the NATO partners in Europe. Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez of Spain has been one of the most vocal critics of the current military strategy. Reports suggest that Pedro Sánchez prohibited the use of the bases at Rota and Morón because he feared Spain would be pulled into a widening regional war. For the Spanish government, the risk of domestic political backlash and the threat to the fragile European economy outweighed the benefits of supporting a unilateral American mission. In Italy, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni was forced into a complex balancing act. Italy is deeply connected to American defense structures, but the government in Rome reportedly worried that participating in direct strikes would make Italy a target for retaliation. Giorgia Meloni and her advisors recognized that the Italian economy is highly sensitive to energy prices moving through the Strait of Hormuz. By restricting access to Sigonella Air Base, they were sending a clear signal. Italy will support the alliance, but it will not be the launchpad for an uncontrollable escalation. The most significant resistance in Europe came from President Emmanuel Macron of France. Emmanuel Macron has long advocated for European strategic independence. Reports suggest that France refused overflight for planes carrying military supplies because the administration in Paris believed the American approach was fueling the fire rather than extinguishing it. Emmanuel Macron emphasized that another Middle East conflict would not only destabilize oil markets but also ruin Europe's entire economic recovery. To the French presidency, the danger was systemic, threatening food costs and industrial production across the continent. The evidence of a complete breakdown in coordination is most visible in the timeline of the announcement. Donald Trump reportedly surprised his own military advisors and regional allies with the Sunday social media post. Reports indicate that he spoke with the leaders of Qatar only after the operation had already begun. This lack of advance notice was reportedly a major factor in the anger expressed by Saudi leadership. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, under Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, reportedly viewed this as a violation of their sovereignty and a threat to their national safety. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has a specific vision for his country, known as Vision 2030. This plan requires massive foreign investment and regional stability to transform the Saudi economy. A direct war with Iran, launched from Saudi soil without Saudi consent, would put oil fields and infrastructure at risk of a repeat of the 2019 Aramco attacks. Mohammed bin Salman reportedly had a phone call with Donald Trump that failed to resolve these issues, leading to the decision to cut off American access to Saudi bases. The regional rejection also included Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani of Qatar. Qatar hosts one of the largest American bases in the region, but it also shares critical gas fields with Iran. Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani has built his reputation on being a neutral mediator in global conflicts. Reports suggest that he emphasized the importance of de-escalation when he finally spoke with the White House. For the Qatari leadership, becoming a combat platform for an offensive against Iran would destroy their diplomatic standing and endanger their energy exports to Europe and Asia. Beyond the immediate tactical failures, there is a deeper layer of mistrust regarding the future of international cooperation. President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan of the United Arab Emirates has spent years building Dubai and Abu Dhabi into global financial hubs. These cities thrive on the perception of being safe and stable business environments. Reports indicate that the United Arab Emirates resisted participation in offensive operations because they calculated that Iranian retaliation would target airports, oil infrastructure, and commercial centers. Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan reportedly prioritized the protection of the business empire he built over the demands of the Pentagon. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif of Pakistan also faced a dangerous situation. Pakistan shares a long border with Iran and is already struggling with internal economic pressure and political division. Shehbaz Sharif reportedly feared that joining an American-led escalation would destabilize the border regions and trigger sectarian unrest inside Pakistan. Reports suggest that Pakistan chose neutrality and positioned itself as a mediator, a move that reportedly gained enough influence to force a pause in the American mission. This collective pushback highlights a significant change in global power dynamics. In the past, the United States could count on its allies to provide logistical support with few questions asked. Now, leaders like Mohammed bin Salman and Shehbaz Sharif are looking at their own balance sheets and domestic stability first. They are no longer willing to sign a blank check for military actions that could ruin their economies. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Vice President J.D. Vance have been in constant communication with these leaders, but the damage to the diplomatic foundation has already been done. The total picture is one of a superpower whose influence is being tested by its own friends. The rift is not just about military strategy. It is about an ideological and economic divide. Analysts like John Hemmings have noted that there is a growing transatlantic gap between populist movements and established governments over issues like NATO spending and trade. This divide has now translated into a refusal to cooperate on the most critical security issue in the Middle East. When Donald Trump tells allies to build up some delayed courage and secure the Strait of Hormuz themselves, it only deepens the resentment. The prospects of all these countries cooperating with the administration in the future appear slim unless there is a fundamental change in how decisions are made. The America First policy is increasingly being viewed by allies as America alone. If Washington continues to bypass the consultation process, it will continue to find its aircraft grounded and its ships without a safe harbor. This lack of unity is exactly what adversaries like Iran and China are exploiting to reshape the international order in their favor. The clock is now ticking on a potential global energy crisis. While the military operation is paused, the Strait of Hormuz remains effectively closed to most traffic. Donald Trump is scheduled to meet with Xi Jinping in China soon, and there is immense pressure to reach a resolution before that summit. However, reports suggest that Iran is in a stronger position than it was before the war began, and its leaders are ready to deliver a harsh response if their demands are not met. In Europe, the movement toward a post-US life is gaining momentum. Germany and France are reportedly discussing a new NATO structure that is less dependent on Washington. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Keir Starmer and other European leaders are reportedly trying to negotiate their own mission to protect navigation, separate from the American initiative. If the United States cannot find a way to lead with its allies rather than over them, the global security architecture as we know it may be reaching its end. The collapse of Project Freedom serves as a reminder that military power is nothing without diplomatic trust. Across history, our picture of the universe has changed, and we are following that transformation step by step. If you want to understand how these shifting alliances are impacting the global economy and your financial future, subscribe to the channel for more deep investigations into the dossiers of power.